I took a Tesla Cybertruck Demo Drive. Upon learning that Tesla was offering Cybertruck Demo Drives across the United States, I decided to sign up for one. I have not gotten my hands on what is inarguably the most unorthodox vehicle on the market right now, and likely ever, but I've been lucky enough to see plenty of them in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida, where I took a vacation in April. I went in with a very open mind. I love to drive a larger vehicle, and a pickup truck, while I've never owned one due to lack of necessity, is probably my favorite thing to journey around in. I decided to book the demo drive at the Westchester, Pennsylvania showroom just outside of Philadelphia. I took the roughly 90-minute ride out to Chester County on Tuesday. Here is what I learned from my 30-minute ride. First things first, it's a modern marvel of vehicle engineering. While I've seen a lot of Cybertrucks, I've never gotten up close and personal with one. I don't necessarily feel super comfortable walking up to anyone's car and doing a deep examination, so I waited for the right opportunity. The Cybertruck is obviously eye-catching, but I was really impressed with how this one looked in terms of build quality. I know that there were some issues early on with Cybertrucks, but it's no surprise that something like this would be relatively difficult to put together early on. I didn't see many inadequacies in how these units were built. There were two parked out front, and so many readying for customer deliveries in the back. According to the employee I took my demo drive with, they had delivered 300 units so far. You don't really feel like you're driving a pickup. I've driven a lot of trucks in my life: F-150s, F-250s, Dodge Rams, Toyota Tundras, and Tacomas. One thing I noticed getting into the Cybertruck: it doesn't really feel like you're driving a truck. It feels sporty, fast, and agile. I was impressed by that. I am not sure what it was about it. Perhaps it was the standard ride height, or just the overall design of the pickup. I feel like I sit up much higher in a traditional pickup. The F-150 Lightning, for example, feels like you're sitting in a regular truck. You're up high, it feels wide and bulky. It's in no way sporty. It's fast because it's an EV, but it's a completely different feel. It truly captures what Tesla meant when it said it wanted to redesign the pickup. Steer-by-wire is incredible. The showroom employee I spoke to said that they have trouble turning a Model 3 around through their narrow parking lots. If they need to swing it around, they can do it, but it requires a multiple-point turn. He then told me that thanks to the steer-by-wire on the Cybertruck, this wasn't as much of a task. We actually have less of a hassle getting the Cybertruck turned around. It's amazing. I had to make a U-turn during a portion of my drive, and I was also told that a traditional pickup truck driver had to back their vehicle up to make the turn. When they were tasked to do the same turn in the Cybertruck, they didn't trust that it would make it. It did without any issues. I felt like it was a very easy adjustment. It took all of 30 seconds to get used to the more advanced turning system in the Cybertruck compared to a regular vehicle. It is probably my favorite part about the whole truck. It's fun to drive on open routes and back roads. I remember writing about how much fun the Model 3 Highland was to drive on back roads. The Cybertruck is probably just as fun, but it also is really fun to drive out in the open on state routes that are busy and have multiple lanes. Some cars get kind of monotonous on the straightforward streets. I wasn't really ever bored with it. Maybe I would be after more than 30 minutes. It was smooth and fast and hugged corners really well. I never questioned taking turns in it, even sharp ones when I was at a stop sign. It just handled and drove really well, and I do think the steer-by-wire was a big reason for that. I would get it wrapped. One thing that stood out to me a lot was the overwhelming amount of fingerprints on the door. This was pretty much a non-negotiable argument that I would absolutely get my Cybertruck wrapped if I ever decide to snag one. I wouldn't want to constantly be wiping these things off, even though I really love the stainless steel. Matte black would be my choice. So, will we see each other again? Final thoughts. I really enjoyed my drive. I have been a fan of the Cybertruck since it was unveiled in 2019. It's hard to believe I was only with Teslarati for a few months at that point, and here I am 5 years later, and this truck is now being seen pretty frequently. Whether you're a fan of it or not, I would really recommend you go see it and check out all the awesome features. Even if you have no intention of buying one, go take a drive and feel the steer-by-wire. the unique size and agility of such a large truck, and take in what is one of the coolest cars out on the market right now. Source: reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at teslarati.